All right, episode 3, first recording. I wanna die. All right, everybody, second recording. I hope you're having a good day, good time. Um, I was kind of hoping that I would just start talking now. I don't know what to say. I mean, what I have been thinking about was the same stuff I had already been talking about last time. I know I remember. At the beginning of the last episode, I said that I wanna talk about stuff that I talked about before. Like in the first episode, I said something, and in the second episode, I can elaborate on that. I could do that right now. That would probably be a good idea. Um, yeah. Okay, what did I say in the second episode to elaborate on? Um, yeah, so the thing that I've been wondering about right now, my mind is much. I'm just gonna stop the recording. Or whatever, next recording anyways. Let me just talk about this instead. So okay, the only thing that I like actually want for real, uh, is just being fucking stupid. Just I don't know, doing just funny, stupid, retarded bullshit. Just funny stuff. Like that's the only thing I ever like really care about. Um, Not literally the only thing, but the only thing where it's like even halfway consistent. Where it's like, oh yeah, that makes actually makes things worth it and so on. It's always something related to just doing dumb bullshit because it's funny. Um, yeah, like um, I'd much rather like put a lot of effort into something and then just do it because it's retarded and it's stupid to put effort into it in the first place, and just that's a joke. And then yeah, I would much rather do that than like put in effort for any fucking other reason. Like I don't really care about anything else. I just want to be stupid. I just want to do fun shit, funny. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like for example, what I did 2 years ago, I don't know. I started making anime music videos, posted them on this channel as well. And like that was like when I did the first one, I was like, holy shit, like that was a lot of fun. To the point where it's like it was weird. I was like um, working on it for like 3 hours or so. Like I started and just kept going, and then I took a short break, and I was just like kind of confused, like in a way, because it felt like on the one hand, like it felt like this was like really fucking enjoyable, actually great, greatest thing I've ever done in my life, more or less. Yeah, pretty much. It was really amazing. And then I also felt kind of like, for one thing, like there's no way I'm ever gonna stop doing this. Like this is my life now. This is great. This is amazing. Why would I ever want to stop doing this? As well as also like this feeling of like I couldn't even imagine what life was like before I did this. Like I literally had just started this 3 hours ago, and like, dude, my life has changed. Like this, oh, this is amazing. Like it felt like I had never done anything else in my life. I don't know how to describe that, but yeah, it was amazing. And then I did it for like 9 months. Just kept making AMVs. Um, did it for like 9 months. But it stopped being fun after 2 weeks. That was kind of a bummer. Um, yeah, and it's like this thing that you hear with like, oh, you're just supposed to stick with stuff and put in the work, and like it's not always going to be fun, you just got to deal with that. But it's always like going to be worth it in the end. And like, no. Like I think I mentioned it before. I don't really get this. Like people always say, "Oh yeah, you just put in the work and stuff, and even if it's not fun in the moment, eventually it's worth it. And if it's not worth it, then well, maybe do something else." But like there's nothing that is like really worth it in that way, to me at least. Like um again, like things might be fun in the moment, but then afterwards, like who the fuck cares? Um, like for example, with the fucking AMVs, it was like I just made uh, dumb, funny bullshit, and that was fun. That was enjoyable. That was great. That was amazing. And like it was never as much fun as the first one, but it was fine. Like the first one was like, holy shit, my life has changed, and after that was like, yeah, this is just amazing. It's amazing, and it was fine. That's great, great actually, great, great. But it just became less and less fun over time. And again, like after 2 weeks or something, it pretty much stopped being fun. Not that there was no joy to be found in it whatsoever, but that was the last time it like felt actually worth it. After that, I was just kind of like, I keep making stuff because like you're supposed to make stuff. And again, I kept doing it for like 8, 9 months, something like that. Then I was like, okay, this doesn't go anywhere. Maybe, like it doesn't work. Maybe you're supposed to take a break. I took a break for like 2 months or something. Then I came back. Oh, no, still doesn't work. Then took another break. Oh, no, still doesn't work. And then I gave up because it just didn't fucking work. And that shit. Yeah, it's you know, that's just how, Um, and like, I don't know, like I don't get this. Like I said, other people always say like you put effort into stuff, and then eventually, even if the process sucks, the end result is gonna make it all worth it. No, it doesn't. That's not how it works. Not for me at least. Like I can put effort into something, even if I on some level care about it, it's never gonna feel like that was actually worth it. Like I might do it anyways because what else am I gonna do with my time? But it never feels like it was actually worth the effort. Like even with the AMVs and so on, that was I did it because the process was actually fun. I really enjoyed the process, and afterwards was like I had this end product, and maybe I even liked it, but it's like who cares about that? Like the process was what really mattered. So it's like that's not something that you can just force. At least I don't think you can. Like you can, like I said, I just forced myself to like keep making them for like 9 months. I could just make more, make more, make more. Just keep creating, just keep being productive, keep putting effort in, and so on and so forth. But it was just never enjoyable. And like I think it stopped being enjoyable when I like kind of tried to get into that mindset of like I think I one time did one in like 3 hours, just tried to finish the whole thing just to see how quickly I could do it, what I could do in that time. It was kind of for fun as an experiment, I guess. And then after that, it was just kind of like it was like I just kind of tried to do stuff as quickly as possible. And then I also just kind of felt like, oh, if I'm not enjoying it, then I should either stop doing it. Like first of all, I tried to stick with it, right? Like I said, oh, you force yourself, keep going. Okay, it didn't work. Then I tried to okay, if, maybe it's like sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're not fun. So if a project isn't fun, then I should either finish it as quickly as possible to move on to the next, or just drop it to move on to the next. Yeah, tried both of those. Doesn't really help because then the next one also isn't fun, and the one after that also isn't fun, and the one after that also isn't fun. And I don't even know. Like it just kind of feels like luck almost. Like because when I did it at the beginning, it was like I didn't have like oh I have all those fun ideas, and then I was done with those fun ideas and was like oh shit no now what? What I did was just kind of like think about it, and then I had an idea, and that idea seemed fun, and then I made it, and then that was fun. But then at some point I just ran out of ideas, and it's like okay what now? And sometimes later on even had ideas. Oh, this seems like it would be funny, so I make it, and then it still wasn't fun anymore. Like I don't really know what exactly changed. It's I want to say it's a mindset thing because that's something you can maybe fix. But I don't think it was just that. It was also like just I don't know which ones would be fun to make. So I just made whatever. Sometimes I just took random songs and random episodes of anime and then just made ones, and that wasn't fun either. Sometimes I made ones where I actually was like, oh, the end product is actually kind of funny. This is kind of neat. I actually felt like I succeeded, but I didn't really care because that wasn't really what it was about. It was just like I mean, again, I don't really get much out of it. It was like, oh yeah, I guess I enjoy this now that I like the end product is nice, but it's like okay, I don't care. It was kind of a pain and just obnoxious to make it, and it doesn't really feel worth it. And now I have it. And I mean, what do I get out of that? Who cares? I don't. I certainly don't. And it just fucking sucks. Um, and again, like that's how I feel about things in general. I don't want to keep repeating myself too much, but it's like, what do I do with that? What do I do with that knowledge now? Like, okay, the process needs to be fun, all right. What is a fun process? Yeah, fuck everything. Like I said at the beginning, the bottom line is that it has to be something that I think is funny. I think that's what it is, and then it's probably enjoyable and worth it and all that. But if I don't have any funny ideas, then it's just like, oh, now what? And it's just, and it's not even that I wouldn't be willing to put in the work. Like it would be a fucking pain to have to like do a bunch of dumb bullshit. One time I made another MV that was actually fun again after like 1.5 years or something of like either not doing it or doing it and it isn't fun anymore. And it was fun again. But the context was that I um, made one that I uploaded privately to show to some people online, where I basically just took different memes and so on and just put our faces on there. That was basically the whole thing, and then put the fucking Grand Blue anime opening in the background. Just a song about friendship and shit, just put it all there. It was kind of funny. Actually, editing all the individual images was just fucking obnoxious and I hated it. It was a fucking nightmare and I wanted to die and I didn't want to do it. And I tried to force myself to do it. And I didn't even do it every day. I tried to, but it was such a fucking pain that I couldn't bring myself to. Um, and it took like a month or two of just doing this. And then eventually I was done and I had all the fucking images ready. And then I did the actual video and put it all together. And like for like an hour or so, it was like, holy shit, this is actually really funny. This is really fun. Not just looking at it and it's funny. I don't know. It's something about the process of just putting it together in AMV was really enjoyable. Um, but again, it's like I again 1 or 2 months of just fucking bullshit, hours upon hours of just being annoyed. This is a fucking pain. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I guess I will just keep doing it because I have nothing else to do. I'm just gonna force myself. And then in the end, like it was fun for an hour or so. And if I'm being entirely honest, that was honestly like fucking entirely worth it. It was fucking amazing. It was great. Having to just fucking suffer for this fucking month or two, completely worth it. All justified. Unironically, like it was great. Even though it was just like fun for like an hour or so, I don't care. It was completely worth it. But it's like, okay, can I like replicate that? Can I like what happened? How does this happen? Um, like if I get that level of joy, even just so rarely after so much work, that's completely worth it, you know? But that's like the only time something like that happened to me. And the context was that still the process itself was fun. It was just like the preparation fucking sucked, then the process was fun, and then afterwards I was done with the video. And I mean, they liked it, so that was nice. Not gonna say that I didn't care at all, but like that's not really what it was about. I just wanted to make, I don't know. I mean, I made it because I was hoping they would like it, but again, it's just like, okay, they liked it, cool. They didn't like it, I don't care. Like it wouldn't really matter much either way. Was the process was fun. That's what was important and is important and so on. But I don't know if I can just like replicate it, and I don't know. Like it's not like I was expecting, oh, this is gonna be fun once I get to like the editing part. Once I have the pictures edited and edit the video itself, like then it's gonna be fun. No, it was just like this is dread the whole way through, and then all of a sudden, oh, this is amazing. And then yeah, I don't know. It wasn't even that it was like I think it took me like because I kept changing the order around and the timing and so on. It took me like 2 or 3 hours to finish the video itself, and it was fun for like an hour. But again, even after that, it wasn't a complete nightmare. It was just still neat. Even when it was annoying, it was fine, you know. And even just that hour was completely worth it. So that's that. Um, and yeah, if that again, if that's replicable, if I can just like do things like that, it's a fucking pain, and all of a sudden it's worth it. Then that's amazing. If that's what people talk about, I absolutely get it. Yeah, that is amazing. That makes this whole being alive thing and working on stuff completely worth it. But it's not really consistent or replicable. Again, it's not just that it's like working on the AMV itself. Like I did that for 9 months, and I even did that with stuff that I actually found was funny, but it wasn't always actually fun to edit. Yeah, the process is just shit most of the time. I don't know. That's just how things are in general. Yeah, in general, what I want out of life more than anything is mostly just like getting this whole human connection thing figured out, getting to like spend time with people actually enjoy it and so on. That is one thing. And the other thing is just like making stuff, like not just doing funny stuff in the moment, but also creating it because I don't know. This is probably just some weird hang up that comes from watching too much fucking YouTube. But if I don't like have some kind of end result to it, then it doesn't really feel worth it. Like like making like hanging out with guys in the voice chat and just talking dumb shit and making funny jokes and having fun, like that's amazing, but that feels different from like sitting alone and making an AMV and finding that funny and then you know. But it's like that's okay. Like on the one hand I could just make something, it's a fucking nightmare, but the end product itself is, oh, that's funny. Then I could make something, the process is fun and the end product feels funny. And then I could just have the funny process. Like we're not creating anything. We're just hanging out, being fucking dipshits, joking around and that kind of stuff. That could be funny. Like the first thing about just having the end product be funny, like that's fucking worthless. I don't care. Then you have the one in the middle where it's like both. The process is fun, and I have an end result doesn't even necessarily need to be something good. Like for example, the first AMV I made was fucking dog shit, but I still like kind of think fondly of it. It was all worth it. It was fun. It was great. Like that. So that's that. Like I don't know why, but just having any end product at the end that makes things completely worth it. I don't know. Probably part of why I'm doing this podcast right now because it's like not just me talking to myself, but something to show for it by the end of it. And then there's just joking around with them, not recording anything, just being fucking idiots, which is still funny and still worth it, but it's not the same as like making something, you know? I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's what I want. I want to make funny stuff and enjoy the process, and if the end result sucks, that's also fine. I would prefer if the end result didn't suck, and I'm not gonna say that I'm not a fucking perfectionist piece of shit that's gonna feel scared and awkward about it and so on. Oh no, I made a bad thing. Not gonna say that I'm not gonna have those feelings, but I would much rather deal with that and then have the process be fun instead of like having the process be fucking miserable and then just like I guess this end result is good. Yeah, who cares? I don't. So that's that. Those are like the two main things I want, and then like I always thought of it over the last few years as, oh, there are three things I want: this human connection thing, this creating stuff and enjoying it thing, and then the fucking thing of consuming stuff and enjoying it, like watching anime, reading books, watching video essays, whatever, like taking stuff in, playing video games, whatever. I don't care as much about this one. I like that. I thought that's the one no, not the one that I care about the most, but like I mean, that is the one that I'm worried about the most because it still seems like that's the one where I could do the most about, where it's just like, it really feels like I just need to find the right things because if I find something I really like, then I can actually enjoy it. It's just rare for me to find something. So then I'm getting all psychotic and think like, oh, if I like watch 5 million anime right now, maybe I'll find one that I'll actually like. And then I like watch, I don't know, five or six, and I'm like, I want to fucking kill myself. And then I stop and don't watch anything for 2 months. And then I think like, okay, on the one hand, if I would just like force myself to watch more, eventually I would find something I really like, but one that fucking sucks and it's torture and so on. And on the other hand, it also seems like a bad idea because it doesn't really solve any of my problems. Like I think the main reason I'm so obsessed with finding stuff I like is just because I want to connect with people. I want to understand myself better, stuff like that more so. And I'm just kind of using media as a crutch for that. At least I think that's what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, if I think about finding actually stuff that I really care about, on some level, I really want it, and it's the only thing that really matters. And I'm getting psychotic and stuff, and like, okay, I really should do that. But on the other hand, I'm still kind of like, I mean, in the end, what's that gonna change? Like, even if I find something I like, then that's distracting myself from everything else, and that's great. I wanna just fucking read books all day and not think about anything else. That's great, but it doesn't really solve my fucking problems. So I think it's really mostly just about those first two things of finding fucking human connections and finding something to do. That's basically it if you boil it down. But I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to even begin to go about that. I have no idea. I vaguely know that I want to create stuff and I want it to be funny. And yeah, yeah, that's why I know about that. And then with the whole human connection thing, I have no idea. I know that I like video essays and listening to people in that context. So there's maybe something there. Maybe if people would just like who I'm talking to would just be completely different from what most people I talk to are like, and it's someone that like talks similar to how video essays are, which I mean I don't even fucking talk myself that way. Like you structured thinking stuff through. I mean I don't know what it is exactly about video essays. It might just be like going really into details, like I said, and actually explaining your own feelings, why you feel the way you do, and so on so that I, as another human being, can actually understand what the other person is fucking talking about because I don't really understand other human beings. So maybe it's just that if they would like explain themselves in a lot of detail or something, maybe then I would be able to care. I am not sure. I don't remember if that ever happened. Like there are some people I prefer talking to, as opposed to others, but I mean, first of all, with those people, it's mostly that I talk a lot more than I normally would. So maybe that's the whole reason. It's just that I feel like it's okay to talk to them because I get to fucking ramble about my bullshit and they give a shit. And then when they talk, most of the time I still have a hard time paying attention. Like I feel like I care a little bit more about what they are saying, and I also in general feel like if I got to say my bullshit first, then it's a bit easier to like have more patience to for what other people are saying, and I'm a bit more able to pay attention. But that makes the whole thing just feel like a fucking transaction. It's just like, oh, I don't actually care what you're saying. I'm just like, I just wanted to say my shit, and now I would feel bad if I don't listen to you. So I'm gonna do my best to listen to you, but I don't still don't actually care what you're saying. I want to care about what the other person is saying, and I think like most people like probably don't care about what most people are saying, but probably are capable of like caring about what this or that person is saying at this or that time. Like they do have conversations where they actually give a shit about what the other person is saying. And the only time I have that is still more transactional. So it's when it's like about exchanging life advice or some shit, and they give me like, oh, you could try this thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I could, and then I tried it, and maybe it works or maybe it doesn't. But it's like, oh, that you telling me something useful. Ah, useful. That's nice. Yeah. But that's not really the same as actually forming a fucking human connection with another living being. Yeah, I don't fucking know how to do that. I would like to, but I don't know how. So that's the one thing, and the other thing is the thing I rambled about first about making stuff and enjoying it. Where all I know about that is that it needs to be um, funny. I guess that's it. Uh, Funny things do feel worthwhile. That's all I know about myself. In terms of that shit. You probably know what I'm saying. I hope you do. I don't know if I'm making myself clear enough. I probably rarely do. I don't know if I could make myself any clearer. I probably could, but I don't really know how. Other than just rambling on about the same thing for like 20 minutes, repeating myself over and over, and then eventually saying one or two new things that I didn't realize I hadn't said yet or something, and then, oh, maybe it makes sense to the other person, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But yeah, those are the two things I care about, and the two things where I have a vague idea of how to go about it, maybe, except it doesn't really feel like it's in my control in any way whatsoever. It feels like I just have to come across the right people, and then maybe it works. It feels like I just have to get the right idea for the right thing to work on, and then it works. That's only in my control insofar as I could try to talk to new people, which I also don't really know how to do. Like I mentioned before, I just sit there quiet and say nothing. And with the other thing, I guess I could just keep making random stuff and losing my mind. But like I said, I did that for like 9 months or something with breaks, and then a few months, and then breaks, and then a few. It just didn't fucking work. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if I'm going to add anything to the podcast at this point. Uh, because it's already at like 20 minutes or something, and someone told me that, yeah, they would prefer, like in general, if podcasts are like 20, 30 minutes or something. In my mind, I'm thinking like, dude, if it's not at least like 90 minutes, why even bother? But it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, on the whole, it also doesn't really have to matter, have to be this or that long. It doesn't fucking matter. Just upload them. You know what I'm saying? If I can finish them, that's like 20 minutes is fine. I'm probably gonna upload this as is, but I don't know. We'll probably wait a few hours. If I can think of something else, I add it to this. Otherwise, see you maybe in episode 4, maybe not. I don't. Yeah. Okay, it's been a few hours since the last recording. Um, I just kind of wanted to add to this, like this this whole last recording seemed like really kind of, how do you say that, dour, like, oh, I was in a really bad mood, just kind of the whole thing seemed like kind of a downer. uh I think personally, like the rest, like the episode 1 and 2 were a lot more lighthearted. I don't know how I actually come off to other people, like uh maybe there wasn't really a difference to other people. Yeah, I don't know, I just felt the need to point this out right now. Like I feel like this last part was kind of uh, aggressive, and kind of like it seemed like I was in a really bad mood and kind of pissed off and so on. So I kind of like that was the main reason why I wanted to add another part and like record more and talk about something else, because I didn't want to end on such a down note. It was just such a bad mood. Okay, this is a letdown. Um, and like part of it is also obviously the thing with the length. Like I mentioned, that I would prefer if the podcasts were at least a little bit longer, like at least like 40 minutes or something. Um, yeah, but that's the main thing I just wanted to add right now, that I felt like this was like very down. I don't know if it again, if it feels any different to anyone listening, or if it's the same. Because sometimes I just say stuff and I'm just kind of like, I mean, yeah, I'm just talking about normal stuff. Like, yeah, I want to die. I want to kill myself. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to die that badly, you know. I mean, it's just kind of like normal, lighthearted stuff to me. But I think for some people, it's like, ooh, this is like depressing or heavy stuff. I don't know. I don't know. The last part I recall just kind of felt like I was coming off as if I was in a really bad mood. I don't know. I just kind of felt annoyed by it, kind of bad about it. Didn't want to end it on that. So I'm gonna end it on this instead. Yeah.